he was up like 20K. And I was like, dang, 20,000 in 2 days? I blew through probably like 3 accounts before I got a live account. I was trading Nas 100 and I saw a crazy pullback. I jumped in there. That 2 grand turned to 10 grand in like 3 hours.
Hey everyone, today we have Anthony with us, one of our traders from FundingTraders. We continue our series of interviews for somebody who is still in the early stages of their journey or wherever you are on your journey. It kind of helps to see that there are other people who go through all these same struggles and then reach the promised land, so to speak, where they become successful. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate you having me.
Briefly tell us a quick background, whatever you can share, no private stuff. How'd you get into the journey of trading, how long you've been trading and all that jazz?
All right. So basically I started trading in 2019, right when COVID hit. COVID, was crazy for everybody. It kind of like shook the world and put the world on pause. And I met my wife, who actually introduced trading to me during that time. We both started the journey together. She was in school at the time, so I had more time to really focus on it and really jump into it. Long story short, got into an investors small group where they would pretty much send signals, things of that nature, and we would learn. They called it learn and earning. So you would, earn a little bit and, learn. So we did that for a couple months, and I started to branch off and venture out because I'm the type of person, I'm a quick learner, pretty adaptable. You show me something and I'm gonna try to flip it. I'm gonna try to, take it and run with it. And this one dude, I'll never forget, he was giving a signal on gold, and he said he was riding the trade for a day and a half, maybe 2 days almost. And he was up 20K. And I was like, dang, 20,000 in 2 days? And to be honest, that was all the motivation I needed to go jump off and start my own thing. So the group, they focused mainly on just currency pairs, things of that nature. But he gave a signal in gold, and it was other people that was giving signals in the indexes. So long story short, I just tried my hand. I had 1,000. So I was like, let me fund my account and give it a go. And of course, I ran through that money quick because I didn't really know what was what, you know what I mean? So that 1,000, man, went in and then went out. I mean, quicker than I could blink. So I was like, damn, I ain't never spent 1,000 before. It felt like I was at the casino game. I'm like, yo, I could hold 1,000 longer than I'm on the tables at nighttime. So I'm like,
and you get a free drink.
Something's got to break. But long story short, man, COVID, man, is what did it. I started trading with that group for a little bit, and then I kind of, like I said, ventured off, did my own thing, learned some things. I did a lot of my trades on the indexes. I learned a lot trading on Nas 100 and SPX 500, stuff like that. So my journey wasn't the typical, currency. A lot of the people I talk to, they trade currencies. I jumped straight to the indexes and then commodities after that. But that's how it all kicked off for the first 2-3 years, kind of up and down, winning a lot, losing a lot, but, learning along the way. And then one day I was on YouTube and I was watching a video that came up on my ads, and it was a chick. Her name is Karen Fu. She's from Singapore. She sent a video saying, if you're tired of running through your money, why don't you trade with other people's money, this, that, and the third. So I'm like, She gave a link, and I think she was promoting the company at the time.
Affiliate.
Affiliate basically. So she check the link out and check them out. So the first prop firm that I was with, their name was Surge Trader.
Okay.
I don't think they're up anymore, but I was with them for I would say a year and a half. 2023 is when I first kicked it off with them. I blew through probably 3 accounts before I got a live account. And then when I finally got the live account, I think it was 50K. I got a live account. I'm like, yes, finally, yo. I got 50K and, I'm going to run it up now. And then I would say a week or two later, failed. And I was like, yo, it was a lot, man. I was so discouraged at the time because it was I did all that to get it. And then I realized it was just holes in my game and it was holes in my trading. So I'm like, all right, I got to increase my knowledge on trading, man. If I'm going to take this serious, I gotta step up my knowledge. Over the years, man, it's been a lot of acquiring knowledge and executing and just applying what I know, making adjustments, literally on the fly. Nothing's in stone from what I've encountered with trading. I'll have a consistent strategy, and then one day or 1 week I'm doing really good, and then the next week I'll implicate the same strategy, and then I'll take a lost some, and I'm like, damn, I got a back test. Like, yo, how did that happen? And so then I just got to go back to the drawing board, take a quick pause, and try to gather my stuff. But
yeah, I mean, a lot of people that start in this business don't really realize that how adaptable you need to be and how long it usually takes to become, on the positive side of things. Because in the beginning, it always looks easy-ish. You always, and plus the money, you make somebody's yearly salary in a day or whatever, right? Or a monthly salary in a day, right? That's not, nothing unheard of. 10, 20, 50 grand is nothing, it's nothing crazy. And to a lot of people, right? And some people have to work a whole fucking year for that money, That's crazy.
It is.
The attraction of this business. I went on Wall Street for the same reason. My family, they either doctors or some engineers. I was too dumb for that. I didn't want to study the Latin names of bones, and I also didn't want to do the engineering shit. It's too much math and all the fuck that shit.
Right.
So, all right. So, and I couldn't do lawyers because I don't want to deal with that side of the equation. Period. The farther away I'm from those places, the better it is for me.
Right. The better.
You know what I'm saying? So Wall Street was the natural path, and again, people who get attracted to this, we're not exactly saving the world. It's the money,
Right.
And you're literally shuffling money around. So
moving paper.
It is attractive. The difficult part is realization that it takes a few years under your belt before you start getting something out of it consistently. I mean, I have bad months too. Any trader has a bad month. I give a stupid example. Warren Buffett lost $50 billion on American Airlines stock in COVID, right? But that year he also made $100 billion on afterwards because he bought something on the cheap, right? So, but for a normal person, a $50 billion write-off loss is, put you,
Bro, the grip that's gonna mess you up.
Yeah. So kind of like this is, everybody still, gets into those messes once in a while, and it's how you persevere through those difficult times that makes it or break it, and then a lot of people that so back in the 80s when my uncle started trading, they used to take, for Wall Street specifically, 70s, 80s, they used to take kids off the street because they needed kids who are tough. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not book smart. Book smart ain't gonna cut it.
No.
Book smart, go become an engineer. That's where the book smart should start, because you need to do make sure the bridge doesn't fall down.
Right.
Yeah, you need to have tenacity of pursuing, going through those times where you don't, you're like fuck.
Question yourself.
Fuck. And you have to pursue it. So how do you deal with when you go through these type of challenging times and obviously you probably became thicker skinned over the years, you got some calluses going, so
listen, man, I think what did it for me was it was my second year of trading. During this time, I didn't mean it. So during this time of me trading, I'm also an MMA fighter. So I was, in the gym training, and then when I'm not training, I'm trading. So trading was my lifestyle, and that is my lifestyle still now. But over the years, I think that one particular year was my second year trading. I was trading Nas 100, and I had I funded my account, I had like $2,000 in it. This was like an unregulated broker, and Hugo FX, stuff like that. So I funded my account. I had like $2,000 in there, and I saw a crazy pullback. So I jumped in there. I rode it for the whole day. Long story short, that $2,000 turned to $10,000 in like 3 hours. And when I pulled out, man, I splurged. I ain't gonna lie. I went out. I spent money. Had a nice dinner with my wife. All of that stuff. And then the very next day, I got in there, and Nas plummeted the opposite direction. And literally the whole amount of money that I took out $10,000. I still got the statement. I think I spent like close to like $1,500. So I had like close to like $9,000. I put it all back into the market, and I was like, I'm gonna run it up again.
Right.
I jumped in there and lost all $9,000, the very next day. It was at that point in my life, I was like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was going through it. I'm like, I cannot believe I just blew. I gained $10,000. That's the most I've ever had at that time in my bank account. And then I just turned around and just tossed it. And it was like, at that point, it was like something clicked in my mind. Like I saw like the ambition and the motivation to go after and get more because it became real to me because it was tangible. I'm like, this is $10,000. I never had $10,000 ever in my life. So I'm like, so this is real and I know I can do this. And at that point, it was like, I got to find other shit to do outside of trading. So that way I create the balance of not getting that like euphoric feeling of earning all that money and then like just, you know what I mean? We earn all that money, you feel like you on top of the world, you feel like everything's clicking. And then it's like, like next day, you get back into reality, bro, you can get your ass handed to you. And that's what happened happen. So it was like I had to find a balance to get my mind off trading outside of trading. So I had to do like more. I did more things. Like at the time, like I did Uber, and I would go Uber and I would spend hours just driving around. You know what I'm saying? I'm still making money, but I'm not
Right.
trading. You know what I mean? And it was like,
You zoom out a little bit,
right.
You have a better perspective when you come back into it instead of just being.
Exactly. So that balance between trading, training, like always at the gym, but then at a time, like you go to the gym at a point, you sore, you can't move, you can't do but too much.
You
know what I
can't
mean?
do the gym 5 hours. I mean, maybe, but
Exactly. It's like
mean,
it's not conducive to me there. And then when I go train, like fight training, it's like I'm already gassed, I'm burnt out, like I have nothing in the tank. So I'm like finding other things, other projects just to get my mind off trading has helped me be able to balance back and be able to look at trading as a perspective and like understand that less is best. The less time that I spend indulged in it is like the more output I can give and the more focus I can get and make sensible trades and make a good analysis opposing to spending hours in front of my TV or my computer, and just running through charts. It's like, it's not gonna work.
Most professional traders, the 1 or 2, 3 hours in a day where like they're zoomed in and they just this is what they do, and then the rest of the day, like a lot of back in again, all these stories back in the pit days, back in 80s, 90s, whatever, when the people shouting and shit. A lot of traders would make money, from 9 to 11 a.m. and then they would just fuck off for the rest of the day. For that reason, It's not because they're lazy. It's because a lot of times when they didn't do that, they would come back after lunch at 1 p.m. and they would just give it all back. So the less exposure you have in the markets, the better it is for you. It's a lot easier to succeed in this business when you don't have to pay rent from this business, because when it's scared money and you know that tomorrow is the first, you had a really rough month, you're gonna have to pull money out of the account, and you're gonna even have even less money. And obviously we all don't start with $100 million in it, so you pull out 5K and it's like, hey, no big deal, right? So it's usually, you have 5-10 grand and you pull out 2 for rent. It's like, fuck, now you have 8, right? And if you and you lose another month, then, it
starts going away, to start eating away at it.
So if you could do the hybrid thing, first of all, what's interesting that you mentioned is it helps you with the balance. That way you don't overtrade, you don't overdo shit, you don't overdo shit on it with a tired brain. And obviously, you do spend a lot of time at the gym, which kind of helps with your physical and mental clarity as well. Instead of, like a lot of people go drink all the time and, they have no discipline being at the gym, or, you need some physical activity. I talk about it all the time. Gym, go even for a stupid like walks or anything, any physical activity.
Just a brisk walk or something like that, man. It helps with the mind.
It will help you reset the emotional states you're in, because sometimes you're just so myopically zoomed in, you can't trade. So what do you trade now mostly? Is it futures? Is it CFDs, or like indices, or gold? Or
believe it or not, like when I came to Funded Traders, I've kind of focused only on gold. So before that, it was indices. It was all NYS, it was all SPX, US 30, it was all indices. But then that signal that guy dropped years when I first started, it just kept replaying in my mind. I'm like, how did this dude make 20 grand? Then I started realizing, I'm like, the spreads on gold is not as quick as it is on NYS. And I'm like, I'm losing money on NYS too quickly. And I'm like, I gotta find something a little bit slower. So then I started back testing, and I started using my strategy I use on NYS on gold. And then when I started seeing the success, like good days, good weeks, good months consistently, I'm like, wait a minute, I think I found something. So gold is bread and butter for me right now. And it's always going to be bread and butter. I'm gonna stick with gold from here till
I hear you. I hear you. And that's very important. Again, like a lot of people think, they start on 1 minute chart and then it's trading NAS, and the thing is, goes haywire, and they want to be an F1 race driver, but maybe you're an NASCAR type of guy, or a GT3 type of guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have to experiment a lot. And you also mentioned that you back test to this day. You have to do that to find your niche. everybody has a niche, So when I talk about the fact that I usually, I do my analysis daily or weekly, daily 4 hour, and I trade 1 hour, I rarely drop even below for 1 hour nowadays. People look at me like I'm an alien, right? Because everybody on YouTube is there, they're teaching them blowing money on 1 minute charts, which is
Quick
fine.
scout,
But
5 minutes,
super
10 minutes.
scalping. It's exciting, right? But like
Right.
I always said, if you want excitement, go to the casino. At least you
Yeah,
get a free drink, You'll get so stuff when you lose your money.
right.
But here, you're just going to lose your money, and you've actually worked,
Worked for it. You put
yeah,
some,
and I
thought
mean,
behind
if
it.
it and you have to experiment with 1 minute chart, because if you are able to produce those type of results, yeah, why not?
Right.
But for me personally, I found that my niche is that niche, and don't be, you shouldn't be scared to people. I'm talking about like other people shouldn't be scared to just admit to themselves that this is what I am,
Right.
and embrace it instead of
Right.
fighting and becoming something you're not.
The first time I dropped money into Nas and I lost like 1,000, bro, like within probably a half an hour, I was like, yo, I was so sick to my stomach, bro. Like my shit was turning. Yeah, I said, bro, that was way too quick, bro. And I'm like, yo, Nas taught me so much though. Nas taught me so many like things to identify when the market does move that fast, or when it's like Nas helped me to spot certain signals real time because of how fast it moves. So then when I transitioned to something that had half the spreads, I'm like, oh, there it is. Boom. I don't have to think about it. You know what I mean? And it's just execute.
Right.
So when I was trading on Nas for those 3-4 years, it was like, yo, I was losing money, but realistically, it was setting me up for gold, because now I'm like, yo, I'll see something in gold, because I'm, again, myself, I don't trade lower than 3-4 hour myself. I stay there 3-4 hour, like, and sometimes 1 hour, but rarely beyond that. It's just like, it's no point. And it's like,
to us,
to me, right. And it's like, with what works for me, I look at the bigger like picture, and then when I see it, it's like I'm confident about it, and then I'll go attack it, because I know from all the things that I saw and the signals that I see real time, I'm like, okay, there it is, and then I don't have to worry about it.
And it's less noise,
right.
If we like to keep these interviews not super long, because everybody has ADD nowadays. So last question. Obviously, you have more than 5 years under your belt now, and to the young guns, still like year one. What kind of advice you would want to hear when you were in their shoes, if you have one? I don't know. You know what I mean? I know they're not going to listen anyway.
But I'm gonna say it anyway.
But we gotta try.
So if I had to start over, if I had to tell somebody who's just now getting started, I would tell them the very thing that you want to go after. So you get an idea on what currency pair or whatever it is that you want to trade. Don't be afraid, yo, to jump in and trade that. So a lot of times I feel like people, when I first got started, they were like pushing like demo. And that's cool. But for me, when I went from the demo to live, it kind of shifted in my mind a little bit. I'm like, oh shit, this is like real money. And then I was a little bit more hesitant, and I wasn't as like confident. So I didn't execute as much. So I did a lot more watching than doing. You know what I mean? So it's like, don't be afraid to like actually jump in there and trade that pair and fail, because failure is the greatest teacher.
Exactly.
So don't be afraid to fail, because you're gonna fail in this business, but you're gonna get a lot of success out of it too.
Thank you. I honestly, I keep telling everybody, like, in a similar fashion, that it's not failure. Just you test. Just don't test with too much money. Test with this, just don't risk, all your account per one trade. Do your testing, but with live account, with a small amount of money per trade, right? So if you
don't be afraid, don't watch,
and don't be afraid, and it's just testing. And we're taught in schools, either if you're right, if you're not right, you're wrong, and that's bad. And they kind of like make us into these animals that are afraid to do something new and experiment. And this business is the opposite of that. You need to fail a lot before
you see success. Yes.
On that note, Anthony, I wish you again. I'm happy to hear that you joined the FundingTraders team, and you're on the winning side and the Funded Trader.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate the opportunity, and looking forward to making more money.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. I'll
appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
All right. You too. Cheers.